class, but discussion. And I hope you will participate. We're going to discuss an interesting chapter. We're like at the end of Bhagavad Gita now. So it's going to be interesting because we're going to summarize a lot of things, and then we're going to just look at what Krishna's so far told Arjuna about. So, yeah, we're going to start the kirtan. Okay, are you ready? Yeah? I'm going to leave the card down maybe. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Yes, please. Nama Om Vishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Vadi Pashyata Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in. Was that okay, Aryan? Yeah, great. So we're going to talk about the 18th chapter, How many people read the Bhagavad Gita or know about the Bhagavad Gita? Yeah. How many of you have the Bhagavad Gita? Let's start there. Okay. Great. And we want to have an open discussion. You can interrupt me anytime. It makes it more come to life if we all participate. And I don't know much, so I've just read and I've learned from some people that come here. So I'm just trying to purify myself. So yeah, I'd like everyone to participate and maybe add something or ask something that they're not sure about, and I'll try and answer. So first of all, I'm gonna ask for blessings, and you can join me if you know the prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathamritam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Sahapagana Lalita Shri Vishakhamritamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Putte Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuba Evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Great, thank you. So I ask for your blessings so that I can say something that's interesting for you, that's relevant for you, that you can apply to your life maybe. So Bhagavad Gita contains 5 topics. And the general topics are Ishvara, God, the soul, Jiva. Anyone else know the other 3? Karma, yeah. That can be translated as activities. And anything else? Time, which is Kala. Last one? Prakriti, great. That's material nature. So all of the topics that are within Mataji got all of them. So great. So all 5 of the topics are really relevant to our life, and any question that you have will be in one of these topics. And it's amazing that Krishna, one by one, addresses every single question that Arjuna has. And Arjuna's crisis, so the scene is that Arjuna is on the battlefield. He's about to fight his family for his right, for access to his wealth. But more importantly, it's his dharma. It's his duty to fight against what's wrong. And here Krishna is trying to convince him that you should fight. Krishna is saying, Arjuna is saying, I don't want to fight. He's thrown his bow and arrow Gandiva on the floor, and he's saying he's having a crisis, and he's saying, I don't want to fight. I'd rather go and beg than to fight. And Krishna says to him, your dharma is that you're a Kshatriya. You're a warrior, you fight. And this is the right cause. I'm telling you to fight. And in that sense, Arjuna starts to ask many questions. The conversation is for 45 minutes, but it's a big book. So it may take us longer than 45 minutes to read, but if you read it, then any question that you might have in life will be answered through one of these questions. What you could do is just open the book and just open it randomly and read it. A lot of people do that, and yes, it can answer your question. So here, we're going to recite the verse first, which is 18.6. You can open your mobile phone and, actually it's over there, so you could just recite with me. Etani apitu karmani, etani apitu karmani, sangam tyakta phalani cha, sangam tyakta phalani cha, kartavyani me partha, kartavyani me partha, nishchitam matam uttamam, nishchitam matam uttamam. And the translation to this verse is, all these activities should be performed without attachment or any expectation of result. They should be performed as a matter of duty, O son of Partha. This is my final opinion. And the purport by Srila Prabhupada. Although all the sacrifices are purifying, one should not expect any result by such performances. In other words, all sacrifices which are meant for material advancement in life should be given up. But sacrifices that purify one's existence and elevate one to the spiritual plane should not be stopped. Everything that leads to Krishna consciousness must be encouraged. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, also it is said that any activity which leads to devotional service to the Lord should be accepted. That is the highest criterion of religion. A devotee of the Lord should accept any kind of work, sacrifice, or charity which will help him in the discharge of devotional service to the Lord. So, in this chapter, the chapter begins with Arjuna asking one question, which is, Almighty Armed One, I wish to understand the purpose of a renunciation, Tyaga, of the renounced order of life, Sannyas, O killer of the Kesi demon, master of the senses. And in answer to that question, Krishna starts, along with this question, Krishna starts telling Arjuna many things. So, first of all, because we're now at the end of the this is the last chapter, and let's just look at how amazing Krishna is. So, Krishna and Arjuna embody the perfect teacher-student dynamic, setting the gold standard for speaking and hearing. So, Krishna being the most amazing speaker, and Krishna being the most amazing hearer. Someone who hears well can put into practice what they've learned. The Bhagavad Gita was spoken because Arjuna had the rare courage to confide in a saintly person and seek the truth with honesty. He was on the battlefield and he's a warrior and he's asking, I'm about to kill these people. Krishna, tell me what my dharma is. You've got the Gandiva bow in your hand and you're asking, should I kill these people or not? As a warrior, shouldn't you have made that decision earlier? But no, Arjuna is brave enough to say, I'm not sure about this. I'm doing this, but I don't know. So he's very brave for questioning something that he thinks is not right. So that makes him the most bravest person, despite holding, someone holding a weapon, could be powerful. But someone who's not scared of looking silly or not knowing it all is very brave. Arjuna's bravery deserves our appreciation. Many of us struggle to master the same courage, right? We do so many things, keep following the walked road, or not questioning while we're doing things. We hesitate to question it. Instead, we choose to comply over conscious decisions, even at the cost of our integrity. So we must resist the temptation. So Bhakti Tirtha Swami said, he's an amazing personality, and he said, we must resist the temptation to be normal, because those who are now considered normal accept the values and practices of an insane world. So we should, Hare Krishna, we should accept, we should be brave enough to challenge something that we're not really sure about. And let's explore how Krishna is the most amazing teacher. So Krishna, you will notice that during this conversation, Arjuna kind of asked the same questions over and over again. In this verse, he asked, what's the difference between Tyaga and Sannyas, which are kind of the same? And he's asked a similar question in chapter 2. And Krishna answered it, I thought. But no, he wasn't. Arjuna wasn't sure. So then he's asking again. But Krishna isn't getting irritated. He's not. He's not saying to Arjuna, I answered this. Why are you asking again? He understands that Arjuna needs a new perspective, and he he continues to answer all of Arjuna's questions. Sorry, I've got a dry throat. So there's 700 verses in Bhagavad Gita. Does anyone know how many chapters there are in the Bhagavad? Yeah, 18. What's your name? Huh? What's your Aryan? Well done. That's really good. I wasn't expecting anyone to know. How old are you? 14. That's so good. Well done. That's really impressive. So, you read the Bhagavad Gita? Amazing. So, I really get impressed when young children read Bhagavad Gita, because it's the most amazing book. And you're doing something right, parents. Because when you read the Bhagavad Gita at a young age, you'll get knowledge, and you'll be able to understand the world and people. Because guess what? We live in the world and we live around people. We need to understand the people, and we need to understand where we're living. And it's a dangerous situation, because we don't know our bodies well. We get a manual for the washing machine, we get a manual for the car, we get manuals for everything. We don't get a manual for the body and the mind. And we should really invest, and you're doing the right thing. So I want to encourage you. So anyway, so there's 700 verses, and Arjuna asks around 17 questions. So Arjuna asks a question every 40 verses. The fact that Arjuna asks so many questions indicates that he feels that Krishna is more than adequate and open, and Krishna is a competent person to answer all of the questions. So that teacher-student relationship, there should be openness and encouragement. But at the same time, when there's encouragement, but you don't impart knowledge, then the person feels good, he's encouraged, but they can't practically do anything with that motivation. So when there's encouragement and knowledge, that's when you're able to take the student to a higher place. So Arjuna asks Arjuna says to Krishna when he's not sure, your point is difficult to understand. You know, when we read the Bhagavad Gita and we're not sure how to apply it, we think, oh, that's difficult. That's why Arjuna asks so many times the same question over and over again. This is Arjuna's implication when he's not able to understand something. He's essentially asking the same question 3 times, this question 3 times. Is it better to work or renounce? Krishna doesn't, like I said, Krishna doesn't get impatient or irritated. He patiently addresses the issue each time, bringing a new perspective to improve Arjuna's understanding. So this is important. We might not understand something the first time you're told, yeah? Because you understand it theoretically, and then you go back to your life and you think, how am I going to apply this? But the thing is, you have to persevere. When you read something in the Bhagavad Gita, let's say it might be something, let's say it might be, I want to chant 1 round a day. But then you go back and you just can't, you go back home and you say to yourself, I'm going to wake up and chant 1 round. But then when you try and apply it, I haven't got time. How am I going to apply it? So then you need to come back and ask more questions. How do I apply it? How do you do it? And like that, you need to keep persevering, asking the same question over and over again, because without seeking help or without addressing the issue, like by asking questions or exploring other avenues, you won't be able to change. And if you do the same thing over and over again, no different result is going to come out. So in order to change something, you have to change yourself. And then Arjuna continues to ask Krishna questions. He says, your point is difficult to believe. When Krishna tells Arjuna that he enlightened the sun god long ago, in chapter 4.5, Krishna points out that they have had multiple lives, and although Arjuna has forgotten, Krishna remembers. So, like that, Arjuna asks many questions, and patiently Krishna continues to answer many questions. Yeah. Now, in chapter 18, Arjuna is asking, what is the difference between renunciation and detachment? That sounds the same, right? Renunciation and detachment. So one is called sannyas. So renunciation in Sanskrit is translated as sannyas, and detachment is translated as tyaga. So the subtle question here is, so sannyas, when you take sannyas, is an external thing, like you giving up something, you're leaving activities, and you're going to go to the forest, like in Vedic terms, you're going to go to the forest and chant. Tyaga means when you're going to be detached from an activity. You continue to live in the world, and you continue to work, look after children like I do, but you're going to be detached. Does that sound hard? Yeah. Anyone have any problems detached? Yeah, I have that issue. Like, I have children, and for ladies, like the whole world revolves around their children. Even like my mom, she's in India right now, but all she's thinking about is us. It's like she's not even there, she's here. So like that, when you're attached to something, your body can be somewhere and your mind is somewhere else. This is why it's said at the end of life, when you are attached to something, or the activities that you doing in your life predominantly when you're living your life, it determines the next the body that you're going to take. And if you think of something at the time of death, then most likely you're going to get that type of body. This is why it said that the end of life you should chant Krishna's names. So for context regarding this question, Arjuna is saying, Arjuna's question is, what's the difference between renunciation and attachment? Arjuna's question is very practical. Should he fight or not fight? So he's saying, should I leave my Gundiva bow on the battlefield and not fight? That's the question he's asking here. Fighting requires strong emotion, right? So in terms of Arjuna, he's on the battlefield, he's about to kill people. That requires a lot of emotion, like otherwise it's life and death, right? So what does detachment look like while engaging in such intense action? For example, many of us may have strong emotion to earning money, right? Like otherwise, there's a lot of people, business like corporate, and you have to have that drive. You've heard that saying, right? To earn money. So you have to have that strong emotion to be able to earn money. And without that, you can't do an activity. And that's what this could relate to. So you can do all of the things in the world without having attachment to the result. For example, you could, Krishna saying in the verse or in Bhagavad Gita that fight, this is the right thing to do, and if you can't do it for that do it for me. So then you're not attached to the result. He's thinking, I'll kill people on the back, my family I'll kill, and I'm gonna be the cause of their death. And Krishna is saying, don't let me take that burden on, do it for me. So in that sense, he's kind of pacified. And then let's look at external renunciation versus internal detachment a little bit more. So external renunciation can be false. Like you can say that I'm gonna leave my wife because she's giving me a headache, right? So that's kind of that's your duty. If you're married, you're looking after children, that's your duty. And out of frustration to give up to your duty is false renunciation, because living in the world is hard, right? Everything is hard. Even if you falsely renounce and say, I'm going to become a monk, guess what? Being a monk is hard. So you have to, first of all, internally purify yourself. And because either activity is going to require some sort of training of the mind and of your activities. So some people in the renounce order physically give up work and go to the forest thinking that they're renounced. But actually true renunciation is more internal. And Krishna teaches that simply by giving up does not make one truly renounced. Why do we focus so much on detachment? Why do we focus so much on detachment? Why do you think? Yeah, sorry? It will bind you, yeah? How?
Instead of Krishna, you will be attached to other things.
Mm.
Decide your next life.
Yes. Did you want to say something? Yeah, exactly. So both Mataji and Prabhu said that because if we're not detached, then we're going to be entangled in the world, and we're going to continue going through the 8.4 billion species of life, from, you know, the ants to the animals to the birds, bees, insects, and then eventually humans. We'll have to continue going through that cycle depending on what kind of association, what kind of karma, what kind of activities we do. It's a very complicated cycle. And our goal is to go back to Godhead, where every song is a dance, every word is a song, every step is a dance, and every day is bliss. So Prabhupada emphasized this. Why do we have to take birth? Why do we have to experience birth, old age, and disease? Because, you know, every movie, Disney movie, emphasizes happily ever after, yeah? But I'm 3 now, and I know there's no happily ever after. In your life, you will experience some. It will be difficult. It will be uncomfortable. So many challenges. So this is not where we're supposed to be happy. So that's why detachment is important, because when you are attached to the result or outcome of any activity, you will be happy if you have a good result, desired result, but then you'll be unhappy if you have if you don't desire the outcome, you don't have the desired outcome. If you perform your activity without attachment, you will have equanimity, and that's what we want, peace of mind. So internal detachment, acting without attachment, what does that mean? Engaged does not mean attached. So let's get that clear. Engaged does not mean attached. It is possible to be detached whilst you're performing an activity. And disengaged does not mean detached. Disengaged does not mean detached. Even if you think you're not involved in something, your mind is constantly going there. Jai Jai Shri Radha Gokulananda ki Jai. Kornitai ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Anyway. So, for example, a businessman may be deeply engaged in earning wealth, but if he's offering it all to Krishna, then he's detached, right? Example, a monk may be externally disengaged with the world, but he might be doing it still internally attached to do it for name, fame, right? So Arjuna's dilemma is, can he fight whilst he's detached? So like I said earlier, to fight you require strong emotions, yet Krishna tells Arjuna to be detached. How? Krishna is saying, perform your duty as a service to me. Fight, but do it for me. Just as a soldier goes to fight for his country, not for personal gain, Arjuna must fight for dharma, not ego. Just like a soldier who goes to fight for his country, he doesn't get arrested if he kills somebody, right? Just like that, if you offer your activities to Krishna, you won't incur the karma. So like, let's say, for example, food. You know, some people say like, oh, you're vegetarian, but you're still killing. How is that? Because even plants are living. Scientists have proven it, right? Scientists have proven it by electrical, I don't know, they've proven it. So you're still killing when you're eating fruits and vegetables. But we say that we're offering it to Krishna, and that from that activity alone, we nullify our karma, because we're accumulating karma every single time. And when you offer something to Krishna, he takes that burden. We don't have to worry about it. So this is how There's a simple answer for everything. And karma is what keeps us going round in this cycle. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions? Aryan, do you have any questions? You can ask me later. Don't. Okay. Let's look at also what Prabhupada says. So Prabhupada in the purport says that sacrifices which are meant for material gain should be abandoned. Because if you're doing it materially, if you're earning money, or if you want to become a big leader in the world, you're going to be attached. So many people that have high positions in the world, they find it difficult to give it up. Because a lot of people that work so hard in the world, when they have to retire, it's really hard for them because they don't know anything else, and like that, it just further entangles them. So Prabhupada is saying that give up any material gain. It doesn't have to be that you give up working. It doesn't have to be you give up ambitions, but you should become really aware that all of these things further entangle you in the world. Actions that purify and elevate us spiritually should never be stopped. So you have to think, what purifies you? Coming to the temple, seeing Radha Gokulananda is purifying, because it's not just a statue. They're seeing you. When you come in front of them, they're seeing you. And like that, when you see them, you feel happy, right? Like so nicely dressed, you look at their garlands, and it's purifying. The sound vibration that's coming through, that's purifying. Nowhere else can you have this atmosphere. And that's why so many people come to visit. I was watching, I was sitting there and I was watching so many people come down, bow, stand next to Radha Gokulananda, and I'm thinking, like, they're standing there for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and you've seen them, okay, but they're getting something. They're getting something in return. That's why they're coming to see Radha Gokulananda. And not only that, you're seeing Radha Gokulananda, but more importantly, Krishna is seeing you. When you're in front of Krishna, he's listening to you. He's hearing your thoughts. What are you thinking? What are you saying? Next time you come in front of Radha Gokulananda, maybe ask a question and see if you get an answer. I've had this experience. And experiment, see what happens. So time is getting on, but I'll try and cover as much as I can. And also in the Prabhupada is saying in Srimad Bhagavatam confirms any action that leads to devotional service should be accepted. So devotional service is basically how you show your love to Krishna. It could be the simplest thing. On your way here, you saw a flower, you plucked it and you gave it to Radha Gokulananda. When you put some money in the kundi, you can put a flower and then it will be offered to Krishna. It could be today when you go home and you cook for Krishna. He likes, makan. He likes yogurt. You can offer that. It could be so simple. Devotional service is not hard. It's not hard at all. Anyone can do it. A child can do it. And you know what? Krishna appreciates that innocent endeavor rather than complicated worship, rules and regulations. Krishna is seeing your heart. So yeah, try that. Does anyone have any questions? Anyone wants to add anything? Anyone wants to say what they do for Krishna at home? Yeah?
Sometimes I offer him some fruits like apples and kiwi and offer him some water and go down to him.
Wow, that's amazing. Do you do that every day?
Well, sometimes I forget to do it, but
Oh, that's
usually
okay.
I do it.
Oh, that's okay.
Once in a while,
You just tell Krishna, sorry Krishna, I forgot, and it's okay. Thanks. So, real detachment is keeping Krishna in the center of all actions. So you can continue to perform all of the activities that you do every day, but just see how after hearing this, you can practice this, maybe. And because, even as a student, you can practice this. Sometimes you think, I'm going to work so hard, I'm going to study so hard, I'm going to get A star. But then, you're so, stressed about getting an A star, you can't even focus on getting the information in your head, right? So, you can be I'm going to try my best and just see what happens. It's up to Krishna if he wants to give me an A star. Like that, we should practice detachment. Let's look at some examples. Some of the activities that we do every day can be in the modes of material nature. So there's modes of material nature does anyone want to answer before I go into it? What's the mode of material nature, do you know? Tamas, which is... Aryan, what is it? No. So there's goodness, passion, and ignorance. And each, you know that, don't you? So there's goodness. Any activity can be performed in goodness, passion, or ignorance. Tamas is ignorance, right? So giving up duties out of laziness, that's ignorance. I won't help others because it's too much effort, that's ignorance. Rajas is passion, giving up duties due to fear. I won't give charity because I might lose my wealth, I might lose my money. And goodness is performing duties with detachment. I will give in charity without expecting anything in return. And pure goodness is offering your wealth to Krishna, because he's the accountant for the whole world. He's not the accountant. He's the maintainer. He provides the money. We just, how children, they go on Mother's Day, they go to the garden, pick a flower, and then give it to the mom. And mom's like, oh, so sweet. That's like that. That's Krishna. We get money from Krishna and we offer it back to him. That's what we're doing. So, practical application. How to apply this verse in real life? So, charity. Give charity without expecting recognition. Sacrifice. Perform devotional activities like chanting, bhajan, kirtan, without seeking material rewards. So sometimes, even chanting or bhajan or kirtan can be done in one of these modes. I'm going to get my rounds done very quickly. I'm going to get one whole bead done very quickly. I'm going to do kirtan so that everyone can hear me, how amazing I am. And everyone will appreciate me, and then they'll say I'm an amazing singer. So these activities are performed in, passion or ignorance. But try and, if you're singing for Krishna, if you're doing bhajan, do it for Krishna. That's what he wants to hear. So many of these activities can be done in different modes. Austerity, accept challenges as Krishna's mercies instead of complaining. So that happens to us, me, all the time. Life is ever evolving. It continues to change. And so many obstacles come in your life. And we often think, oh, why is God doing this to me? Why? Why did he do this to me? I go to the mandir. I offer bhoga. I offer charity. It's because you're offering charity. It's because you're offering bhoga. It's because you're coming to the mandir that Krishna is saying, I want you to come higher now. Enough. You've done this level for a long time. Come higher. Get to a higher level. So often when people start practicing bhakti, they will notice that many challenges come in your life. Even after you become a devotee, you will have so many challenges, and at that point, you will be tested. Are you going to give up bhajan? Are you going to give up devotional life? Are you going to stop loving Krishna? Are you going to stop coming to Krishna? You're going to stop coming to the mandir? No. If you shouldn't, because these challenges are personalized for you. That challenge is in your life to teach you something. Everyone thinks we've come here to enjoy. I just want to be happy. I just want to be happy. No, this is not a place you've come to be happy. This is a place, it's the school of hard knocks. It's a school for everyone, and you're trying to learn something. So when you have a challenge next time, try to think, rather than getting overwhelmed, think about what challenge has Krishna set you, what are you supposed to learn from this, and see how much strength you get from that thought process. So, conclusion and reflection. So, does anyone have any reflections? Yes. We should not say that again. Yeah. So sometimes it's hard to get up in the morning, right? To chant your rounds. Sometimes it's difficult to continue with a service. Even devotional service is hard. So many material concepts can come into devotional service. But if you stick, so like, even when you want to buy a house or if you want to get a job in the world, it's hard. It's not easy. I know how hard it is to get a mortgage nowadays, and people do it. If we had the same drive, same motivation to continue with our devotional service, if we treat it like that, in that sense, then we will do well. Because when you're doing service for Krishna, it will be hard to get along with people, right? It's hard to get along with people. It's not easy. And even when you're among devotees, it can be hard. But we should persevere. Because, we hear so many things like offenses to devotees will harm your devotional life. And guess what? We are going to offend devotees. But does that mean we stop doing service? No. Because the only thing that will purify us is if we continue with devotional service. We continue despite the challenges we have with our minds, with our character, with our life. We have to continue chanting. We have to continue with the service. And like that, 4 years ago, compared to 4 years ago and now, I've experienced a few things, and I've learned from my experiences, because I could have given up certain services. I could have given up chanting. I could have given up, reading like books, because like sometimes you don't understand. But you continue, right? Right? Does that answer your question? What kind of activity? So many things. Wow, so conducive. So, like they say, a great devotee says that there are certain things are very powerful for devotional life. One is book distribution. Book distribution, or just sharing Krishna's message, is really, really powerful. Have you had that experience? Yeah. So when even Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, those who do my work for me, those who spread my name and message are more dearer to me. And yeah, I would say at this time, book distribution is very, very powerful. Or just sharing Krishna consciousness with others very simply, not even sharing a book, maybe just talking about Krishna with somebody that's interested, is willing to hear, is so powerful. Every day, if you could just speak to everyone about Krishna, then it's amazing. You will keep your devotional life alive just by doing that one activity. I think. No, not I think. I know. Yeah. There's so many things I could say, but let's say this. Krishna's final teaching is renounce selfish desires, not your duty. Srila Prabhupada's key instruction is anything that brings us closer to Krishna should be accepted. Like chanting is a powerful activity as well. Just by chanting, someone can, see Krishna. Someone can just be in person, face to face with Krishna. I'm not talking about imagining, or I'm not talking about just seeing Krishna's poster or something. No, you can be face to face with Krishna just by chanting. I wish I was that elevated, but yeah, maybe some of you can certainly do that. What are some ways we can purify daily activities? Does anyone want to say from experience, or like how do we purify things that we do every single day? It could be anything. One way is offering food. One way is to purify your mind, waking up during the golden hour, Brahma Muhurat, which is amazing, powerful. Your mind can be purified if you just wake up early, because the later you wake up, you're constantly in that cycle of rushing. And just by waking up early and then having that first connection with Krishna, having that time with Krishna, can purify the rest of your day. I had a story, but I'm gonna, maybe I'll tell it. So there was a worker that was going home, and he saw a lady that was walking past with a cart, and she had these amazing flowers, and he could just smell them, like they were so fragrant, and like something happened to this person. He was just coming back from work and he was tired, but just by smelling them he became rejuvenated, and it was just like mesmerizing to him, these flowers. And then he said to the lady, "Are you selling these flowers? What can I do?" He became almost desperate. "What can I do to get some flowers from you?" She said, "I'm not selling them. You could just have them." And he's like, "Are you sure?" Wow. Because they were almost like magical flowers. And then he took them home, and his whole family had the same reaction. So he thought, okay, what I'm gonna do with these flowers is just plant them. So like a rose, you could just plant in your garden and it grows. So he did that, and the flowers started growing, and they were like magical flowers. Just by being around them, he got rejuvenated. The family became obsessed with it. People would come and see it, and they would get mesmerized, and they would smell the flowers and think, wow, amazing flowers. And then he started becoming quite attached to the flowers, and he became like, oh, I must protect these flowers. They're precious. They're like my treasure. And then he started building a wall. He started monitoring, what is that, surveillance he had and everything, just for these flowers. And then anyway, it became an obsession for him. He became so attached. Then it wasn't enjoyable. The effect of the flowers wore off. And he went back to the lady, and she was still selling them she wasn't selling them, she was just giving them away. She had no attachment to them. So this is an example how we can ruin something that is so pure and that will give you so much pleasure just by being so attached to something. And that was my final story. And we're gonna now get ready for the Aarti. Thank you so much for listening. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.